Okay, everyone, we have arrived at Cooksburg and we are heading down the hill. Be passing over the Clarion River shortly and arriving at our campground in a few minutes. It's a pretty nice ride up today. We saw a few deer, a lot of campers heading south. Temperature on the truck says 71 degrees right now. The humidity's real low, and the low is supposed to get down in the low to mid 50s tonight. So we got pretty good, comfortable weather to be camping for the next few days. You can probably hear Chuck in the background. He knows where we're at, and we're getting close, and he's a little bit excited. Here's some nice cabins along the road, and we're getting ready to cross the Clarion River any moment here. Some canoe rentals in the park office over on the right, and we're gonna head right up over the hill, get to our campground, and we'll see you in a few moments. Here we are at the entrance to the Cooks Forest State Park Ridge Campground. We've been staying here, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years now, and we really like camping here because it's a nice family-friendly place to camp. They have a pet loop where you can have your pet, and electrical hookups. We have our reservation made already, and I'm pretty sure I know exactly where our camp spot is. But you can see the campground a little bit as we're pulling in here. Doesn't look like too many people here, which isn't a surprise. Everyone's probably going home from the weekend, and we're just getting here, which is why we like to camp through the week. Playground to the right. Carson and I brought his baseball equipment, and we're going to practice a little bit in the next day or so. This first loop on the right here is the pet loop. Wow, this is pretty empty. I'm surprised there's this few of people here. There's the bathhouse straight ahead. We didn't get the site that we normally like to use because it was reserved, but we got the one right next to it, which is this spot right here. We usually like the next one down, but this will have to do. And we are here at our destination. So we're gonna back in, get everything set up, and after we're done, we'll do a little video tour of our setup here. But we are at our destination, so stay tuned. Okay, everyone, we just got done setting up our campsite. I'll show you a little bit of our setup here. Over here we have a fire ring. We have to go get some firewood. You're not allowed to bring your wood from other areas into the campground for control of invasive species, so you have to buy it here. We've got a few chairs set up, garbage bag and a lantern on the pole. We'll build a nice fire a little bit later, cook some marshmallows and s'mores. We've got Coleman stove, our cooler, and a few fishing poles. Our tent is a Cabela's Alaskan Guide Model 8-man tent that we've had probably for about 10 years now. It was a little bit pricey to buy at the outset. They were $550 at the time for the 8-man, and I got this on sale, I want to say for $479. And it can be a little bit challenging to set up by yourself, but it can be done. Fortunately, I did not have to do that today. But this tent, I have not treated it with anything, and we've slept in some big windstorms, some monsoons, never even come close to getting wet. It flat out does not leak. We've had it set up where there was a lot of water laying on the ground. The water just does not seep through this floor. I would have to give this tent a 10 on a scale of 10 by all means. The only drawback, it's definitely not a backpacking type tent because it's too heavy. But if you're camping out of a vehicle, you can't beat it. And we've got the vestibule set up and open to air it out. Probably the only drawback of this tent, it's a 4-season tent, and in the summertime, if you don't air it out a lot, it can get kind of warm if the weather is up at all. It's supposed to get down low to mid 50s tonight, and I'm guessing we'll probably be sleeping on top of our bags and blankets because we've slept in this thing in 40 degrees, and if you got a couple people inside, I've kicked my sleeping bag off because you're warm. So if you're cold weather camping, that's a great point, but in the summertime it can be a little bit of a challenge. I hope you can see in here, we have the dog's bed set up on the floor. We've got a couple Coleman cots with some mattresses and bags. We've got all of our gear put in here, and a small air conditioning unit that is definitely not going to freeze you out, but you can gain a couple degrees of relief by running it at night. So this is where we're going to be sleeping the next couple evenings. And for anyone who hasn't camped at the DCNR camping spots, this is the electric panel. They have, I think, 110 and some 220 there. Whoever has a camper that backs in and needs to hook up. So this is our setup. We got it set up pretty well, and we're gonna go get firewood and maybe go for a ride to see what we can see, maybe do a little bit of fishing. And I'm pretty surprised how empty the campground is. Evidently some kids must still be in school because I thought there would be more people. It's kind of nice not being crowded here. It's kind of quiet, and we couldn't ask for better weather. So we're looking forward to the next couple of days. See, something picked it up. Wait, set the hook. You got the Palomino, Joe. You got a golden. You got a golden. You want to keep him or throw him? That's a nice fish, bud. Yeah, bank yanking. Bank yanking. Come on. Golden sacrifice. That thing is like 15, 16 inches, bud. Good job. Did you think you were going to get a Palomino? What do you think about that? Hey, what do you have to say? I think you had a customer there. See your line going out? And you feel it tight, set the hook. You got one. Did he fight with you? It's a Ranger. Yeah, these are nice Rangers. Every one of them, like 13, 14 inches. Wait. You got one, Joe. throw him back. All right, here's Chuck enjoying his bed next to the fire. He had a long ride today, did a little bit of fishing, got his belly full of some dinner with chicken, rice, shredded mozzarella cheese, and a handful of dry. And at 14 and a half years old, that's a pretty full day for him. So you can see he's ready to close his eyes for a little bit. And here's the fire that we have going. We got a little bit of extra wood nearby, and we're just gonna sit here and enjoy the peace and quiet in the fire for a while. And over here is Carson.
Hi.
What was your favorite part of the day so far?
Fishing and eating.
What did you have for dinner?
I had a burger with bacon, cheese, and patty on it.
At the Forest Nook.
And I had some ketchup on it also.
It was a pretty darn good burger, huh?
Yep.
What kind of fish did you catch?
I caught 6 rainbow trout and 1 palomino.
Yep, and they were pretty nice ones.
Yeah.
I bet the smallest thing you caught was 12 inches.
Yeah.
The biggest was at least 14, maybe 15. They were pretty nice fish overall.
Yeah.
How many other palominos were swimming around in there?
5, 6 of them.
We're gonna get on and try to catch another one before we leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were fishing at the kids' pond down there. I'm sure everyone who watched that segment could tell. But tomorrow morning, we're gonna set the alarm and head a little bit north of here. We know a few spots that are pretty good fishing that we typically do pretty well, and we don't want to fish where it's easy in the kids' pond all the time. We're gonna go to some streams that have stocked and wild trout in there. Primarily we'll probably be catching some stock, but the stream we're going to be fishing hasn't been stocked in, geez, at least 5 or 6 weeks. It's been a while, so we'll see. Hopefully no one's camped in some of the spots where we want to fish, but we'll try our luck in the morning. And this is probably going to be a wrap for our filming for day one. We might make some s'mores and some marshmallows, and we're just going to sit here and relax and enjoy the fire for a while. So we will pick everyone up tomorrow morning when we get to our fishing spot and see what happens. He needs 2 more fish. He got what, 2 rainbows and a brown, and we lost one so far. We just had a deer in the creek above us, and a bald eagle flew down the creek, but we had some difficulty with the GoPro battery, so we missed a lot of the initial action here. We'll see if we can get on film Carson catching his last couple. You got one? No. Try throwing. Well, everyone, we had a good morning fishing, as you can see here, but it was a little bit disappointing because we had some technical difficulty with the battery in our GoPro. And, I really don't like bashing anything, but the battery life on these is just disappointing. So unfortunately we didn't get footage of our actual fishing, and it would have been pretty good footage because we got into some pretty good action this morning right off the bat. When we got out of the truck, the thermometer read 43 degrees. We got out to the spot where we started, and Carson caught trout the first 3 casts that he made. They're all browns and rainbows, and we got a couple there that are 13, 14 inches long. And we caught, I don't know how many the first spot, and then they shut off, and we went to the second spot, and we just pounded one right after another there. What'd you catch, Carson? 12 trout? Yeah, and he threw most of them back, but he kept his limit. And I kept a limit because there's a lady at church that we know who likes to eat fish, and she asked us to keep a couple for her, so we did. We're going to get them cleaned up here. We wish we had the footage to show you, But while we were fishing, 2 different times we saw deer crossing the creek above us, and a bald eagle flew over top of us. So we really had a good morning. Wish we could have showed you some footage, but at least we got the battery charged up while we were driving, and we can show you the fruits of our morning fishing anyhow. So we will talk to you soon. Stay tuned.
We are now, bless you, at the Farmer's Inn in Siegel, PA, and we are headed through the zoo. Carson just fed a bunch of little goats. We'll do it again in just a few minutes. See if the bears are out today. Maybe they're in the back. Oh, I see them. There's a zebra. Oh, pretty peacocks.
Mr. Bear?
There's the bear, taking a nap.
Want some food? He ain't eating his apples. You shouldn't feed him.
He's sleeping.
You got apples.
Peacocks. Beautiful. Oh, I see a mountain lion next door. Wow. A little bit of everything. Hi, Mr. Bear. Oh, look, he's itching.
Mr. Bear.
Hello. Aren't you pretty?
Did I try to throw a cracker at him?
No, just through the little pool. Hi.
Cracker at him. Cracker, you want cracker?
He's the king of the hill.
Alpaca want cracker? Did I throw it at him?
No, no, no.
Alpaca want cracker? Alpaca. I want one, Mr. Turtle.
Don't let him grab it from you. Just throw it in. Whoops. Throw it through the cage. I don't know if he'll eat it or not. It's a little turtle. So cool.
Mr. Turtle trying to get out. Mr. Turtle. Whoa, that's a baby woodpecker and artist?
There is a red kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
There's a sloth up here. Oh, I see 2 sloths.
Hi, buddy. There are more pygmy goats. There are more pygmy goats. No matter.
I see a couple of 2-toed sloths.
And there's some little deer thingies down here.
Yeah.
And I see ants crawling up and down that post. They're called reeds and muskrats.
Over here.
This is the kangaroo. And then there's a cable over there.
There's Carson and a wallaby back here.
Mr. Wallaby, do you like your hay?
Pretty coyote.
The mom wants crackers, but the baby's still.
Couple of goats.
You gonna climb the tower today, bud?
Yeah,
How high you gonna go?
maybe halfway. Isn't that far to walk?
No.
We take a left up here, right?
Well, what do you want to see first, the tower or the overlook? The overlook to the river is to the right.
Let's do the overlook.
Fire tower's to the left.
Let's do the farthest first, and then come back to the.
That breeze feels nice. Remember, all the people have their names and the year they carved it into the rock out here?
How did they carve that?
I don't know, they must have been there a while carving it into the rock. We'll have to see how old some of them are.
Probably some going back to the 19s.
Is the 1900s a long time ago for you?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to watch that on YouTube and laugh.
Okay, everybody, we're at the Seneca Point now. You can see how many people have carved their names into the rock, see if there's any new ones.
This is a overlook above the Clarion River. Joe, when I was young, you could see the river really well over these trees, but they've grown up so high that it's actually hard to see the river now, huh? It wasn't me, bud. You know I haven't been here this trip yet. This is the Clarion River Valley. I can't find a spot where I can actually see the river anymore. I saw one that was 1941 there, bud. Yeah, where is that one?
This one's 78, 97.
Here it is. What's that say? Dan and Marie Morgan, M-O-R-G-A-N, 8141.
What's 8141?
That's August 1st, 1941. And here's one that says, something says Bub and Jill. Is that Jill? J-I-L-L?
It says Bob.
6. Is that Bob? Yeah, you're right. It's Bob. Bob and Jill.
6/28/5.
It's June
6/28/54.
June 28th, 1954. Here's 1940. That's either Rob or
Here's one that says 4/16.
a faded Bob, and this is October something that I can't make out. 3rd or 8th maybe, 1940. And I'm sure we're walking on some faded ones.
Smile.
Is this like the same? Yeah, here's Kirtland.
It sounds like a drum room.
And then it's etched 69, 72, and then 93. I wonder if that's the same person coming here and updating.
This one says Let's Go 17.
That's a shame you can't even see the river. I can just barely see shades of the river through this batch of tree limbs right here. You can see the sun shining off the river.
I can see a little bit.
You would need to be about 12 to 15 feet taller
Here's one that
to
says
see it.
5/2017. Let's drive back.
Now we're approaching the fire tower. And this is kind of the same deal as the river overlook. When I was here younger and you climbed to the top of this, you could easily see out over the top of these trees. But the trees, you probably, I guess, could still see out. I don't know if you can see clear to the top up there. I'm probably not quite as adventurous as I used to be. So climbing this isn't for me anymore. I know this thing was built quite a while ago. There's only a 6-person limit, so that kind of tells me that they know it's not the sturdiest thing going. But the plaque here says Old Fire Tower number 9.
Yeah, Mom told me to wait for you, but
I'm not going up, bud. Just be careful if any of those boards feel spongy.
starting to get a little wobbly. I ain't going up high.
I don't blame you, bud. That ain't for me any longer.
Yeah, I'm coming down.
When I was younger, I went to the whole way to the top, but I did a lot of things when I was younger, and that thing was probably far sturdier then than it is now.
It was wobbling.
All right, you ready to head back to the truck?
Yeah. Oh, it's a bear.
It's a little bear.
You can see a bear.
A bear, Joe. There's a bear.
Oh my gosh, there's a bear.
It was up on the dumpster. How cool is that?
I thought it was a statue for a second.
I know.